Okay, so we're going to now look at the cash management application. You can see there's several tiles that help us make informed decisions. For example, without even drilling into any of the tiles, we can see over here in green on the left, you have cash position. It's in green because it's over our threshold, which it's quite high, $1.4 billion, obviously a lot of cash on hand. When you compare that in contrast to the cash discount utilization that's not getting over our threshold level, you'll see that's in red at 22%. And the thing we're trying to compare here is we have plenty of cash on hand, as you can see in green, and yet we're not achieving our objective in red. So those are the quick insights to cash management we can get without even drilling into detail. However, there's a lot of detail behind each of these slides. For example, we'll go into cash position, and you can see we've got cash position, in this case across country, but that's a flexible icon. You can select that by bank country, by bank. In this case, I like bank and currency a lot. We could also do currency and country. So a lot of different ways to know where our cash position is on hand. And now we have the understanding that, hey, here's how much money we have saved on hand at JP Morgan in both euro and dollar. Ultimately, what we're trying to drill home is that this is a really flexible way to look at all of our money and locations across the world. And, in some cases, it's also nice not only to have that picture of where your dollars are being saved across the globe, but also to be transferring within them. And as you can see over here, we've got quite a few bank accounts that we're doing business with. And instead of having to remember 20 different bank account numbers, names, all of that kind of stuff, we can instead look at this in one centralized view and make transfers right to and from different bank accounts in this same screen. So in this case, my Wells Fargo US dollar account is my main disbursement account that I use in the US, and we're getting lower than we'd like to be. So in this case, I'd like to start a bank transfer too. And if you remember from the previous view, JP Morgan had quite a bit of cash on hand. So we'll go ahead and go into the system, make a transfer. I type in JP, and not only do I see my two JP Morgan accounts, using enterprise search, we also get all accounts that are in Japanese yen or have even Japanese characters on their account name. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select JP Morgan, the US dollar account, and start the transfer into my Wells Fargo account. I can do this all throughout Fiori. If you would prefer to do that with a ACH transfer or a external payment, we can link that in, but you can also manage that right within your SAP screens. There's the ability to put a note in, and we'll go ahead and submit. And as you can see at this point, we've built in some workflow for obvious reasons. A workflow would be quite advantageous here. So at this point, a payment has been initiated and a payment request has been cleared to run. At this point, I would need to log out of my personal screen and come into a AP manager or someone with that sort of authority. Log in there, and they've got a very familiar looking Fiori screen, but obviously with different tiles that are more applicable to them. All the way down here on the payment screen, I've got my payment tile. I can drill into that and see all outstanding payments that are waiting to be done. So if I have any questions as far as who initiated the transfer, where you're transferring to or from, all of that is linked, as well as the timestamp. So you can see that I just created this a moment ago, and for the outstanding amount of $190,000. At this point, we can approve or reject, just toggle right there. And once I submit approval, we've mandated in the workflow that some sort of note has to be given. So in this case, we'll just write approved. And you can see the pending bank approvals has gone down from 6 to 5 because it's a real-time system. So that takes us through the bank transfer. Other items that you can see are liquidity forecasts. This is really valuable for not only being able to see what your cash position is on hand right now, but also be able to see all the cash in, cash out expected for any number of reasons, whether that's AP, AR, but also Treasury, Treasury-related changes in capital as well. Some other tiles that are really neat are bank risk. You can understand the risk you have with each bank, as well as credit by customer that's sitting out.